Hey, what's going on? Just explaining my trade. I took a trade last night, and so I'm in Starbucks right now, so hopefully it's not too loud. So I'll try to bring the microphone close to my mouth so you guys can hear me. All right, so I also want to introduce this concept called ADR Algo. It's actually an indicator. I know we don't use indicators. I know ICT is against indicators. I don't really use it, but it's a good thing to use. It's not a panacea. Like ICT talk about, it's not a panacea, but it can help us. So let me explain. So if I take everything off, this is the 1 hour chart. We have a breaker right here, a bearish breaker. Let me take off this alert that I had. Let me try to zoom into the whole screen. So we have a bearish breaker right here. Okay. This is the trade I took last night. I explained this, but one thing this is a bearish breaker on a 1 hour chart. Okay. But one thing I noticed with ICT, he also said that the algorithm notices the other breakers, the higher breakers in the chart as well. So let me identify the higher breakers. Okay, so we got this breaker right here, which is clear, but we have two other breakers right here. And let me show you this right here, these white lines. So if we go down to the 5-minute chart, then we see these bearish breakers right here. Okay. So we see the bearish breakers right here, the last down close candle before it took out the high. You see that right there? And then we have a bearish breaker right here, which is the last down close candle before it took out the high. You see that? So this is what I marked up. This is why I saw price coming up higher right here. Now, actually, I got out right here. Only because I had to leave my house this morning. Okay, so I was in a rush, or I still would have been in this move. But we seen at 9:30 we had a super whiplash right here, and so price is going higher because we have a breaker. We have another breaker up here, so it could go higher up here to this breaker, this higher one, which this higher up close breaker holds more weight than this one. So what did I get in at? Hold on, let me see. I got another chart as well. Okay, so I actually got in. What did I get in at? Let's see. I know what time I got in. So let's see. This is 5. I got out here. So I actually got in no, I got in right here. This is where I got in at. Now, so you have to ask yourself, like, why did I get in? This is in the middle of the night. I woke up in the middle of the night because I wanted to take this trade. So at first I was mad because I got in here and then price shot down. I'm like, what the hell? But I had an alert set up for here and I had an alert set up for here. And I was right here. I thought price was going to respect this breaker or mitigation block, whichever one it is right here, the highest up close candle. But price broke it, and I was like, damn, we may be going lower, but I still held my long because I knew we had these breakers up here. So this is why I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to get faked out by the market. Yeah, just because it took a low, it has to come up here to this breaker because I understand the structure, right? So that's what that was. See how the breakers help you, the bearish breakers? Price has to come back to them. I mean, because people would have thought price would just come back to this breaker and drop. But you see, when it came to this breaker right here, this is a major structure breaker. But when it came up to it, it didn't take the low. You see that? If it would have took the low, then we would have went a lot lower. Does that make sense? We would have went a lot lower, but it didn't take the low, so that was game time letting you know that we're going higher. That's why I got in for a buy. Does that make sense? So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to keep it conservative. I'm going to go ahead and get out at this breaker up here. But like I said, I was rushing out of my house this morning, so I didn't want to risk it because I didn't have my chart up in front of me. So, but if I had my computer in front of me, I would have. I probably should have put a TP right here at this breaker right here. So this breaker right here holds more weight than this one. This one holds more weight than this one. So that's why I think it could come all the way up here. We also got a bearish order block up here, 4-hour zone. Okay, so price could be making his way up to this order block. I'm not sure. I'm not actually about to hop back in. I may be done for today because I have an event I have to attend in a few hours. So I may just be watching price action to see what happened. Okay, so let me explain the ADR algo theory. Okay, so like I said, I know we don't use indicators, but this actually helps. So let me show you something real quick. I've been like practicing with this, playing with this for a while. So look, this is how it works. So if you're unsure like what the next day is going to do, you can use this. Now right here it showed that price would actually take yesterday's low. So it's showing that price is going to take out this low right here. Because if you see, now this is not always correct. I'm not saying this it's a panacea or whatever, because it's not. So because this is showing that price is going to take out this low. So if this, it could come up to that bearish order block, or it could come up to that this bearish order block 4 hour, or it could come up to this breaker and then drop. Does that make sense? Because the ADR algo shows that it's going to take out the low. So price could come up here, right? It could come up here and then hit this order block and then drop to take out the low to fulfill the ADR algo. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I'm not saying that's what it's going to do, but usually when it's like this, usually it's accurate because it didn't take out this low yet. So that's why I took a buy, because I'm like, okay, well, it's probably going to come up to that breaker or that order block before it dropped. Now price could just keep going up. I'm not saying that this ADR algo thing is correct, but if you want to check it out and just kind of play with it, this is the one right here. It's called ADR Matrix. So download this one, and every single day at 1700, it'll predict if price is going to go lower or higher. I would say it's probably 70% accurate. It's probably higher than that, but you have to experiment with it yourself. Now you see this 50% line right here. If you see price projected below the 50% line of the ADR algo, it's definitely probably going to follow what the drop. Or if it's above the 50% high and it's saying it's going to come up here, it's probably accurate. Now let me show you how to track it, because this is dynamic. This thing is dynamic, so it moves. So you have to track it to see what's going on. Like for instance, right here at 1900 yesterday, I'm on military time. The average daily range low was here, and then it moved up at 3 a.m. It moved up to here. At 5:30 a.m. it moved here, and at 8 a.m. it was right here. Now it moved up again. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of telling me that we may not be dropping. We may not be dropping as much as I think. Now check this out. At 1900 it was here, and at 3 a.m. it was on this line. At 5:30 a.m. it was on this line. It didn't move. At 8 a.m. it didn't move. At 10:40 a.m. it didn't move. So if you understand how this works, usually when this line do not move at all, because remember the line is constantly moving up and down as the hours go by, but it'll kind of give itself away when the line don't move. When the line don't move, that means that price is going to hit the line. So I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I've seen this happen time and time again when price didn't move at all. When this line has been the same for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times that I checked, right? And if you see down here, price started down here at 1900, then it moved up at 3 a.m. and then at 5:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. it stayed the same, and then at 10:40 a.m. it moved up. So it started off down here. So it's letting you know that it's not probably going to drop as far as we think, but it's definitely coming up here. So if price hits this line right here, then I'll shoot like a short video to prove that. But based off my experience, price always comes up to this line here or very close to it. Now it came up close to it here, so it may be done. It may be ready to drop, but remember we got an order block here. We got an order block on the 4-hour chart, a bearish order block that hasn't been hit yet, and we got a higher breaker right here that hasn't been hit yet. You see that? So price could keep going up. So that's just something I wanted to show you guys, like the ADR algo. I think you guys should play with it, because every single day at 1700, every single day at 1700, the algo kicks into gear, and then it'll show you, it'll drop down like it's doing now, or it'll go up. And then what you can do is you can go to the DXY, which is the exact opposite, right? So you can go to the DXY and see, because if this is projected down, then the DXY should be projected up, right? And it is projected up. So at 1700, it predicted that price would take out the high. You see that? And so Yeah, it's a lot more powerful. Then I have to shoot another video on it, but I just want to show the trade that I took, and I want to introduce the ADR algo to see what you guys think about it. All right, thanks for watching.